We all appreciate beautiful art. In fact, creating art is one of the rarest qualities we humans possess. But could art have an even more powerful effect on us than we ever realized? I'm Barry Kibrick. Today we explore how art may actually heal in ways never before imagined. My guest is Kamran Khavarani, the creator of the art form known as abstract romanticism. But even he was stunned by some of the recent scientific research about his work.
Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Sam Ash Music, a proud sponsor of Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick. Sam Ash has been serving musicians since 1924. To unlock your inner musician, information is available at samash.com.
Kamran, I think it's been about 5 years, or maybe even 6 or 7, but welcome back to the show. I am so delighted to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much, Barry. I'm honored to be here again.
Well, you know, the reason you're here this time is something very interesting happened. As people will see throughout the show, my set is designed with your paintings. And I chose that way before you came on the show. And the reason is because when you were back with me 6 years ago, I said to you there was a feeling I got when watching your art, when viewing your art. And just recently, a study came out specifically about your art and the healing properties of it.
All these years that I had the exhibitions, I could see the feeling of viewers of my paintings, the same feeling that I had. So every time I see my paintings, it gives me such a joy and happiness. And then when people ask me that, what is about your painting that has this property, I tell them that I always paint when I'm happy and immersed in the feeling of moment, in the freedom of moment. When I do that, then I'm not expressing my limited selfish side or my mindset self. I become in field of fluidity. I become one with it. So then my hand effortlessly moves and intermingles forms and colors, which at the moment that I'm doing, since as you know that I'm painting with my hand, so when I had the color and paint under my hand, I cannot see what I'm doing. When I pass, after it is done, I see what I have done. So I become like a traveling in an unpaved road. So I'm not expressing any part of my mind or my experience. I'm just allowing that field of the fluidity flows, and maybe if my hand is experienced, then that energy use my hand.
Well, two scientists, Parisi, I'll get her name correctly, Parisa Amir Mostafian,
yes,
and Simin Moziani.
Mozayani.
They felt this when they saw your art, and they actually, out of the University of New York, New Paltz, created a study about this. It's in the International Journal of Social Sciences, and they provide absolute proof and evidence that viewers of your paintings experience a sense of meditative joy, more than just joy, but it actually puts them in what Parisi said, in the state of being, in a state of meditation.
Actually, when we meditate, we make our mind slow down and quiet. So I give example to people when they ask me why this can happen. I say that if some people are playing a game and we are not player, but we are watching their play. If we know the rules of the game, we are active in that game, because we say that if this guy drops this card, will win, or the other one will lose. But if you don't know the rules of that game, we are not playing. My paintings, even though they are natural moves, but they are not representing anything that we see in our natural life. So when mind can see, somebody can view my paintings, they cannot connect it with what they know. When they cannot connect it to what they know, it means that their mind becoming quiet. And unconsciously, they will become in the state of meditation.
Well, you know, that's what makes this so important, because so many people, if any reason why people aren't meditating, and science already has proved that meditation is a extremely healthy, not just for the mind, but for the body, by viewing your painting, they can experience that meditation without having to be forced into a meditative state. They're naturally drawn into it.
That's what I told you, that since if we see any painting that I can know the subject, I know that this is a Tower of Eiffel, or this is this mountain, or this is this image. When we know what we see, our mind is in this game and this display. So our mind describes that, oh, I like it, or I don't like it, or it's beautiful, it's not beautiful. It is mind again. But if you see a scene or an image that your mind cannot relate it to any connection that it has before or after, then unconsciously they are in the state of meditation.
But the healing part was what was fascinating, because it took it one more step. Both of the scientists that did the study, they realized, because your paintings were in the Beverly Hills Cancer Center,
yes,
they started doing anecdotal studies as well. They later on proved things with MRI and things like that. But anecdotally, they noticed that patients and even their caregivers were experiencing a different experience while in even the most dire state.
One of the doctor with that Beverly Hills Cancer Center that you mentioned, one day he called me. He says that the uncle of his wife, which has was one of the patients of the center, he said that if I come with joy to this center, even though I am suffering with the radiation or whatever treatment she was getting, he said that when I look at this painting, it gives me such a good feeling, so it encouraged me to come back for the treatment. So, and this is not only one or two samples, there are hundreds and thousands that I heard, and that's why it became a subject of that research.
So Kamran, what they wanted to do was then prove it, and one of the ways they did it was there was a Restore Art event held at Hammer Museum, and your gallery was fairly close by. And what they noticed was when people walked in to the Hammer Museum and they would look and they were following the people, they actually did a survey of them when they left and found that about 59% of the viewers really felt nothing, or at most they liked the paintings. But then they escorted and took them into your gallery, and the results were that between 72 and 90% felt this meditative sense.
That's what the result of the research said, and I cannot add anything to that.
You know, you don't have to, because I'm going to. It also moved them to a state of tranquility. That's one step deeper than even meditation, is to be in that tranquil state. And when you even describe it yourself, you use the term even as a soulful state, one state even deeper than just tranquil and meditative.
You see, these days, I'm sure that many of the viewers, they know Rumi. Rumi has thousands and thousands of poems, and then actually in the last 100 years, the most read poems in America are Rumi's poems. Because when they asked him that, how could you say these poems? He said, I never say things that I express my me. I mean, I allow that the divine values in me express themselves. So he put his being in the command of a higher value, a divine value. I believe that when I paint, since I do it when I'm happy and I'm not immersed, I'm actually immersed in the freedom of the moment, I do the same thing. So I become the hand of a higher value, and that higher value shows itself on the drawing. And then when some people look at my painting, they get the same feeling.
Well, Albert Boehm, whose book, that's when you first came on the show, was
Yes.
because I saw the
Yes.
book that was years ago.
Yes.
And he even back then, 15 years ago, one of the reasons why, and by the way, I should let the viewers know, I do it in the introduction, but he coined your art abstract romanticism, and that's what is now known as abstract romanticism. And he said at that time he felt this feeling. So it before anyone else, before it was in the cancer centers, he felt it right away.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he put the name of abstract romanticism, you know, abstract means no narration, no image, no story. And romanticism is about narration, about story, about image. So abstract romanticism is oxymoron. You cannot say long, short, or dark, light. But there is a poem of Rumi which says that if you see face of the faceless beloved, you are beloved, you are the beloved, you are the house, and you are the Mecca. So abstract romanticism means its meaning is that face of the faceless. So you see a face, your feeling knows that face, but your mind doesn't have a clue what is that face. So this is the face of the faceless that represents anything divine in anybody's. So then they connected, the viewer of the painting, connecting to the same feeling that I had when I did the painting.
Now, they themselves, though, were questioning, was that consciously done by you, or did that just evolve out of the efforts that you did? I mean, were you thinking about this beforehand? Because I know that you only work if the spirit moves you. So was this a conscious thought on your part, or was it something that you realized was developing as you got into it?
I have no clue before a painting has been done what I'm painting. I only, when everything is set beautifully, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I look at the paper and I just let it happen. I put my hand, I told you that this is, amaze myself every time. When I put my hand in the paint and I go over the paper, I don't see what is happening at the time that my hand is on the paper. When I pass, I see what I have done. So I have no clue.
By the way, we should let the people know, you use no brushes whatsoever. Every painting that they're seeing during this show is all done by your hand over the painting, or with a little mango
seed.
seed.
And actually this mango seed came 3 years or 4 years after I used to paint. I was eating a mango seed and I noticed that my hand doesn't create sharp lines. So I use that, and then I still keep that mango seed last 15 years.
but it's your, like you said, your hand is there and you're just moving the paint. Now, something interesting. I came to your studio when I wanted to pick the art up from my set, and you showed me a painting, and you said even the mistakes. So for instance, what was laying out there was this beautiful painting, a blue painting, and as you were going, there was some, on the table, some green. It accidentally caught your palm, and you moved it. Now, rather than say that was a mistake and go over, you then figured, in a sense, it was divine, and you use that now. So even we won't even call it a mistake because it doesn't turn out to be a mistake, but even something unintentionally that you do, you incorporate it if it happens at that moment.
I call it all that is, is.
Say that again, say that again.
All that is. So, and then one more thing I tell you that if when I wanted to paint, if I say I want to do something beautiful, I don't know what to do. Then I said to myself, who said it should be beautiful? Just do whatever it happens. Let it happen. So actually, intentionally, I do things that I wouldn't do otherwise. So I just put my hand and go somewhere and do something. And then I will, because I give myself in the command of that feeling, that is a joyful feeling and free feeling, and I go, I mean, since I've repeated so many times, now my amazement is less. But it happens like that. What can I say?
Well, you know, in the study, they mentioned a fellow, Eric Kendall, a 2000 Nobel laureate. And he made this comment about art in general. And he said, what gives the viewer that aha moment is that at that moment in time, and I'll quote him exactly, the viewers of art see suddenly the artist's communication shared with them. When you're working, are you thinking actively about what the viewer's thinking of your art, or you're just so into yourself, the viewer then interpret it when they see it?
If I think 1 second, I cannot touch, I cannot do painting. I don't think. That's the whole idea. Thinking create expression. So everybody now is common, everybody says that art is the expression of the artist. When I express, what I express, I can express my limited experience in my life, what happened to my life. So as Jung mentioned, we have two sides. We have me, which is our selfish side of us, and then we have I, that we have divine side of us. Myself, only my body is in the command of my higher self. So there is nothing, there is no word, there is not a moment that my mind is involved in producing any of these paintings.
But now, Kamran, you're also an architect.
Yes.
Now, I know that's different feeling than when you paint, but in a sense, structure underlies emotions as well, doesn't it?
Okay, let me tell you about that. Rumi has a poem. It says that we have to have our chest should be empty like a mirror. So we can see as a mirror all that is. But it doesn't say that we should start it with the mirror originally. We have to achieve all knowledge and everything that we have, and then wash it. So I have those experiences, and all 50 years of my doing architecture, they are with me. But when I do the work, they are the foundation of my work, but they are not part of my thought. So I don't use the thinking. I just allow happening.
Something else from, though, Paris's research. One's purpose may be held in secret while expressing itself as a healing balm for the receptive perceiver. So in a sense, that is proving what you said, because you're, not only is it kept in secret, you're not even thinking about it, so it's not even a secret.
You see, when you connect to your higher self, your divine self, that divinity is in the heart of all the viewers. So that's the connection that they feel, and they feel they like it. Because I emanate that feeling in my heart on the painting. The painting will do the same thing to the heart of the viewers. That's why we are connecting through our heart. If I go with my mind, I'm disconnected with them, because I think like this and they think like another thing. But the only thing that makes us union, and we are one, we are from one source, one creation, oneness, is that what is instilled in our higher self, that we all have it. We all believe in beauty, we all believe in harmony, we all believe in justice, we all believe in joy. So that portion is a commonator that we have all together. But if I go with my mind, I'm separate. I think differently, you think differently.
You also, though, again, let's go back to the spiritual aspect, because you, on many, not all necessarily, but on many of your paintings, you believe in the Trinity. On the Trinity in all forms of religion, not just one, but it is a connection. I want you to explain that sense of Trinity when you did it to us with earth, spirit, water. Tell me how you're visualizing this, because I think that's going to give insight to an artist's mind that very few people ever get to experience.
Number 3 is meaning, and number 4 is manifestation. Meaning happens when you have two opposites or two polar things, and then you bring them in balance. So we are made of two worlds. This is Ferdowsi, Persian poet, will say that. we are from for the physical world of physicality and world of spirituality. So I am spirit experiencing this body. But then, as a human being, we are the trinity of these two. So I have the soul, and I have the body, and I'm the outcome of these two. So that's why we say thèse, antithèse, synthèse. 1, 2, 3. Yin, yang, yin, yang. In everything is 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 is that divine values that we cannot see. 2 is the physicality that we can see. So if you bring that divine values into this physicality, the outcome is 3. That's why my painting represents that meaning of 3. But when they become manifested, they become 4. And then that 3 plus 4 is 7. That is one cycle of life.
One of the things now that as you've even gotten older, you've been studying more into philosophy yourself. And it is now even taking your art to different and deeper forms. There's different styles now that you're, not styles because you don't even have a style, quote unquote, but different forms of expression and how they will be incorporated into the work.
Actually, if you see many of my paintings, either I am presenting oneness, or I'm presenting duality, or I'm presenting the balance of the duality, which is the Trinity. So many of my paintings, if you see hundreds of them, many of them there is a sky on top and there is in the bottom like a water, so that water represents this running world. Every day is passing, and that sky. So that sky represents the divinity which we cannot see. And then this running world is, running water is the physicality that we can see. And then the balance, I call it humanity, which is combination of these two. So even maybe on this one, or we can show to some other painting. I can show.
You can point to the.
Many of my paintings, the upper part kind of represents like a sky. So the Old Testament says that God created heaven and earth. He liked it. So the heaven means spirituality. Earth, in my view, means physicality. And then human being is the outcome of these two. So we are representing that divine in this physical world.
When you enter a room itself, you bring a light that, I don't want to say, I can't describe it, but there's an aura about you. Every room you enter, you grab the attention of that room. Is it because you just sense this connection with the cosmos? Is it that connectivity that makes you this way?
We have two choices. Either I'm the creator or I'm the creation. If I am the creator, it means that I am not the creator. I'm the hand of the creator. So if I manifest divine values, if I show my love, if I show my caring, if I'm just, if I believe in beauty, if I'm happy, these are elements from that divine. So I act like that, and then this is in the heart of everybody. So when they feel it, they like it, and then we become communicated. But if I go with my mind that who am I, and I show my separation, then I see my different color, my different position, my different place that I have. So I see separation. So anybody can do that. That's why when you see people are kind, you love them. Why? Because kindness is one of the divine values. And so then they manifest that their divinity in them, so they become hand of divine.
Thank you, my friend, but our time is up. And I want to end with these few more words by Mr. Boehm, Dr. Boehm, who wrote this. He said, "You created an art for a new consciousness and an art for a new humanity." And I am so grateful that you did.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Kamran. And thank you for joining us. I would now like to leave you with these few more words from the conclusion of the actual study done on Kamran's art. In sum, we submit that the therapeutic power of Khavarani's paintings is truly a gift to humanity at a time when the world is in dire need for some happiness. I'm Barry Kibrick. We all need a little more happiness. Find it between all the world's problems, and you too will be a gift to humanity. God bless you. I love you.
Thank you.
To connect with Barry, like him on Facebook and follow him on Twitter at Barry Kibrick. And to contact Barry directly, view past episodes of Between the Lines, and read his weekly blog, visit us at barrykibrick.com. Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Sam Ash Music, a proud sponsor of Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick. Sam Ash has been serving musicians since 1924. To unlock your inner musician, information is available at samash.com.